Oh, the joy of finding bugs in your own scenario on stream. Luckily, I got my mission log off to the side, so you guys aren't seeing the intercept counter going off over and over and over again.
I
You know,
remember you were doing the on guard scenario a few months or maybe even a year ago, and there was one event that kept firing 1,000 times whenever an aircraft launched, something like that.
oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that
That was
that
a,
that was actually a fun scenario.
yeah, it's another Britain versus France scenario. You're the Charles de Gaulle, and you have to hit a bunch of targets in Britain.
Yeah, I remember that. That was the one where I sailed. Didn't I? Wasn't that one? I was the one where I sailed the Charles de Gaulle into the Irish Sea, which should have been
Maybe.
like the one of the dumbest things you could ever do because it's a narrow confined piece of water, and ships really don't like narrow confined pieces of water.
Well, that depends.
Um, Stardog, do you always play no pulse? I generally play on no pulse. I generally don't switch this to pulsed anymore.
I almost always play on no pulse.
Yeah, I don't really switch it to pulsed anymore. I think I used to play on pulse, but then I pretty much just switched over to no pulse and pretty much just stay here. I find it kind of smoother on no pulsed. Um, you know, one of the things I think the game has done well, and actually one of the reasons that actually makes me want to go back and play Northern Fury is that the game performance is just significantly better than what it used to be. I know a couple months back after one of the last major patches, I played Havana Daydreamin', and that was a scenario I never could have played, before. And they improved the performance so much that that's actually a viable scenario to play now on stream. I could play it fine solo. It's just it takes a lot of extra resources when I'm recording to uh, to uh, to do that, and it's just amazing how far performance has come in this game since release. Yeah, I was thinking the other day of just how long I've been playing this game. Game's been out at what, 3 years now, 4 years?
Yeah, I've been playing it almost since release,
Yeah,
too.
I mean, I think I got into the beta right before release, and it's just, man, it doesn't feel like that long. Still,
I,
still probably definitely one of my most played games, even if Steam's not tracking the amount of hours that I'm playing this game, or I played this game.
it's my biggest Steam game by far, and if you counted the hours I've spent on the non-Steam version, that would probably double it. So, yeah, it blows my second place, Fallout New Vegas, out of the water. Um, or maybe it's Payday 2, my second place, but it's still far and away my most played game.
Um, yeah, I think if you added up all the time I have in Command, including like scenario design, time I'm in the game doing scenario design stuff, I think it would probably equal more than my most played, which my most played is Skyrim at like 700, 800 hours now. We can look. Let's see how big of a life Kushan doesn't have. I have 663 hours into Skyrim. My next closest game is EU4 with 360, and next closest is as CK2 at 287. So, yeah, I think if you added up all the time I have, it probably equals more or the same as that 60, as that Skyrim time. Probably more, really. Yeah, I don't really. I think in Pulsed, Stardog, between the going back to the time mode, I think Pulsed, it kind of, is just how it. I think one, it's how the game proceeds it, and you can kind of see. Well, not it's that it's a little more jumpy. It just doesn't maybe not feel as smooth when units are moving. I know it's got a lot to do on the back end of things of how things work. Oh, we've got fighters. Finally got a fight here. Um. All right, so we've got some mirages. It looks like. So I triggered something. All these are hostile. Engage. And looks like my F-15's already engaging. And I'm gonna send I'm gonna have this group of Typhoons engage as well. Yeah, it's really minute. I think the biggest difference, Stardog, between the time modes is when you're playing large scenarios. I think no pulsed is better for larger scenarios, whereas pulsed you probably pulsed I think you notice kind of more on larger scenarios where it's trying to process more, I guess, if that makes sense. And looks like we're engaging some more Mirage fighters. Go AMRAAMs. Like AMRAAMs if you fail me versus Mirages. I mean, I can kind of understand why if they've got missiles inbound. That's a lot of missiles. I can kind of understand AMRAAMs missing Raphaels because Raphaels do have, I think, super maneuverability, but if they miss Mirages, then there's something wrong with the AIM-120. And that's a lot of missiles coming into that group of Eurofighters. Turn, 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 turn. Start dodging. Hopefully those have to have their... Oh, don't like they're gonna crank. And lost one. Lost two. Lost three. And looks like I'm gonna lose that fourth one. What is with my missiles not hitting? They killed 4 Eurofighters and I killed 2 Mirages. That
Sometimes you just get unlucky.
that exchange rate, which is funny because like I play this just playing in game on my own, and it seems like my AIM-120 is like the god missile, and then I play on stream and it's like miss, 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 miss that MiG-15, miss that MiG-15. It's like, wait a minute, that AIM-120 is firing against a 50-year-old aircraft. One thing
I,
I wish was covered more, I guess. Sorry, go ahead. I think you're starting to say something.
well, my favorite command greatest miss is like from a tiny scenario editor experiment I did years and years ago, where it was either a Seawolf or a Virginia, I'm not sure, was um, firing at a tiny North Korean mini sub with no sensors that never knew a thing, and it still missed with 3 out of 4 Mark 48s. That's my favorite command greatest miss. Thankfully, the fourth got it.
Come on, kill the Mirage. Are you kidding me? Still missing? Please hit. Come on. Just one missile? Although, well, I guess those are meteors. Those aren't AMRAAMs, but which should be better. The meteor is actually a little bit better than the AMRAAM, I think. As far as on
Especially
paper.
at longer range, because it
Yeah,
has a ram jet, so it can stay powered and doesn't lose as much energy in the last part. That's what I've found. Um,
probably firing meteors at me. Well, looks like my Eurofighters here managed to avoid, took one loss, but for the most part, looked like they came out of that pretty much unscathed. Got a bunch of SAMs that are inbound now. Do we know what these are? Another thing I want to talk to you about. I noticed you, I think it was you on a blog, had stated that you were using weapon release authorization to give like SAM batteries like a personality.
yes.
Like you had like an older battery that would just fire at anything, and then you had like a kind of a, say an S400 that was more selective.
Well, in this case, it's from They Came from the Museum, one of my favorite scenarios I've made. Well, in one case, it's a missile that I have weapons released to use all weapons against target and no limits on firing. Um, and the S400, and not S400, whatever the missile was, it was it basically will launch everything immediately because the operator is panicked and firing wildly. And then I have an SA5, the giant fixed SAM, that's I have it only fires one missile at a time, and it fires at a range much closer and thus more practical than its on paper maximum. So um, So I was thinking, so that's what I meant by personality. It's more cautious. The other one isn't that cautious at all.
So looks like I got a whole, something I think I should probably tweak on this. I mean, that's a whole lot of SAMs coming in at a couple of targets. I think something I should probably tweak here is actually I don't really mess with WRA too much because I think it's really complicated. Especially
In
since it's
general, you'd rather shoot too many missiles at a target and lose a few than shoot too few and not destroy the target, as your stream of bad rolls with the AMRAAMs indicates.
you don't feel that waste missiles though, like that for instance a player can
It
um,
depends on how many missiles you actually have. It depends on the situation.
and we got a whole lot of targets finally coming inbound. Yay! We're gonna get a fight here. Go missiles. We're not gonna. At this point, I'm just saying screw the objective because that's at this point we're so far in, it's not really gonna matter. But you know, what would a command stream be if I actually went after the objective?
Uh,
I can't have that. So we're gonna get these guys all going after those targets. Tornadoes. I feel like I have planes that ran out of fuel. I know I didn't, but I kind of feel like maybe that's the case here. Um, these guys can't really support unless they go. Yeah, I'm gonna want all my fighters on this side. We're gonna wanna like skirt the engagement range of those Patriots because it looks like we've got more targets coming in. Hostile. Finally got the got kind of a, I don't want to say a bad roll on this one because um, but I did kind of get a bad roll in that I didn't get any F-22s. Would have been really nice to have some F-22s or some F-35s. Um, yeah, welcome to the stream, Man PMC. Yeah, it's definitely been a while. I'm hoping to get back to streaming. I don't know if I'm gonna do command streams every week, but I definitely want to get back into doing it regularly again. Part of the problem, and I think Cloyler's had this with his command fiction writing, is that it's really hard to come up with a new scenario idea every single week.
that's definitely a problem.
You know, coming up with a unique scenario idea that's not just the same old thing every weekend, week out is difficult to say the least. All right, so we got some GR4s. I might have overdone this scenario, or I probably, in other respects, I probably just half-assed this one too much, because that is a lot of incoming.
Did you put up all your fighters at once? Because if you're streaming, if you at the beginning just threw all your fighters up at once, then it might be more equal. You
I did now, but that was after my little kind of little sparring match early, trying to feel the enemy out, and then now I think I'm gonna get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Um, I think I would have been better off just doing everything right at the start.
Oh well, you're not here to play the objectives.
Yeah, I'm here to talk. That's the fun. If I want to do the objectives, I'll play it on my own.
Yeah.
All right, looks like we've got some finally got some harm missiles that are inbound. Let's see how well they do. Hopefully I've hopefully I've ran these batteries maybe out a little bit of missiles. And getting a little bit of a dogfight. So go AMRAAMs. Or no, are those meteors? No, those are meteors. Go meteors. Got some kills, but I'm noticing a significantly less amount of fighters on this side of the map than I had originally, and that's still a lot of incoming. Yeah, I think what I should have done here is I should have just launched like everything at once and kind of tried to overwhelm that initial air patrol early before the AI missions had a chance to trigger. Um, so, Kyler, we've talked about this before, but what's your opinion? I mean, we talked about this earlier. Like, what's your opinion on like doing things, or did we talk about doing things based solely off of fiction? I know we had mentioned it, but I don't know if we had talked about it
Well, you
exactly.
talked about stuff based on the classic Clancy Bond novels.
Oh yeah, we did. Sorry, already had that conversation.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think I'm kind of running out of things to say. Any like comments from chat? Anything you guys wanna ask us? And that is a lot of enemy fighters. A lot of enemy fighters. Ooh, that's gonna be really bad. That's gonna be really bad. And see, it's one thing I know because I did the scenario is that there is actually like a border here between where the um, German and French kind of patrols kind of have and whoa, what the hell? And I went right down the border, thus triggering both of them instead of triggering one or the other, and that is a lot of that's because the Mamba's fired. They're taking out my go harms. Oh, that Patriot battery's gonna hit something. No. Don't you just love it when your missile streams gets like reduced down to like a stream of like one missile? Yep, there goes the other Patriot firing off missiles. Yeah, this is gonna be bad. I doubt either of these missiles are actually gonna hit that battery. Nope, neither one's gonna hit. Um, so I think that does about what I wanted to. Claire, any questions for me that you have, or is there anything else you wanted to touch on?
Not really that I can think of right now. Nice talking to you.
Yeah, I think for me that's gonna be kind of it for the day after we kind of watch a little bit more of this air battle kind of go. I think this just kind of I think at this point we're gonna call this mission a failure and have to recall my fighters because I don't think I can take that on. And I think with that that's gonna kind of wrap it up for today. So thank you for joining me, Coiler.
It's a pleasure.
I'd
Thank you.
definitely like to have you on again in the future
Okay,
if you're up
I'll see
for
you
it.
when I.
And
Okay.
everybody else, thank you for joining. Remember to follow me here on Twitch. I'm also Kushan Gaming on Twitter, and I'm also Kushan Gaming on YouTube. Um, and I'm glad to be back. I'm really hoping to kind of get back into a regular streaming schedule. So which is 11 a.m. Pacific time on Saturdays. And I will hopefully see you all next week.